Everyone, thank you for joining us again. Charlie's English Revolution. Thank you for joining SAT vocabulary course. What's up, everyone? We're gonna look at today advanced level adjectives. First adjective that we're gonna look at is abject. Abject means humiliating, utterly hopeless, living in a worst condition imaginable. You don't want to have this kind of attitude. This abject attitude is because you're so poor, because of the lack of the financial resources that you maintain this kind of attitude, like, oh, abject, right? Abject manners, abject attitude. The state of being extremely poor, because when you're extremely poor, that no money in your pocket, and you got this abject attitude, unhappy, unsuccessful. Ab here means abate, right? Abated, the intensity abated, the degree abated. Decrease, and eject, something protruding, right? So eject. We look at the word eject, right? Eject is to propel something out suddenly. The eject the pilot. The pilot was ejected. When you press the eject button, the pilot is ejected, propelled out of your aircraft, right? And eject is like abject attitude, like I'm so sorry, He'll live in an abject poverty. He's wearing abject clothes, right? Because you're suffering from extreme poverty. You wearing abject clothes. He's shown an abject submission to his boss because he has no money. Second word that we're going to look at is we're going to look at the words that belong to the category of strange, okay, being strange. First word is abnormal. Abnormal means different from what is normal, okay, so out of balance, so abnormal, not normal at all. And usually, especially in a bad way. So like this monster, it has a abnormal big eyes, right? He had abnormally big eyes, or have outrageously big eyes. The abnormal part of the ship decoration was abandoned into the sea in order for the ship to go on sail after it was hit by a storm. So there's something unnecessary attached to the vessel, and you can say this abnormal part of the ship should be cut down and then abandoned into the sea, because they are not necessary anymore. Second word that we're going to look at, that the word that belongs to the category of being strange. Second word is that outlandish. Outlandish is so unusual that it is difficult to accept. Oh no, this is not a makeup, okay? This is not something that I cannot accept. This is not normal. I cannot accept it. Like a outlandish makeup, outlandish hairstyle, outlandish outfit. It's like you're wearing a cow's beef steak, clothing. You're wearing like a pork steak, clothing, outfit, and you say that's outlandish fashion, outlandish fashion. This is kind of mild, right? It's not an outlandish makeup. It should be a little severe than this. Maybe outlandish makeup, like, wearing this kind of makeup. Outlandish. Third is peculiar. Peculiar is like worse than odd. It's an odd makeup, or when you say peculiar is worse. It's pejorative term that is extremely weird to accept. So when outlandish is worse than outlandish, you can say peculiar. Peculiar eye makeup, like this is a peculiar eye makeup, okay, or peculiar makeup, or peculiar smell. She has a peculiar smell. When you come near to somebody, and then sudden smell that you don't like, it's a pejorative term, and you don't like that extremely weird smell. It's like never smelled before. It's like smells like a fart or something. Then you say, oh, it's a peculiar smell, peculiar makeup, a strange, unpleasant way. It's like when you frown a little bit because of the smell. Then you can say peculiar smell, peculiar makeup. Usually not pleasant, okay, not pleasant. But something strange but not pleasant, and you can say peculiar. She has the most peculiar ideas or customs or habits, and her makeup, you don't like that at all. It's not pleasant. They say that's peculiar makeup. So there's something emotional state involved in it. Johnson has a peculiar smell. It's kind of, he smells like a fungus or something. Next word is grotesque. Grotesque and strange in a silly, sometimes in a very slightly scary way, like grotesque makeup. Peculiar eye makeup, but grotesque makeup. You look at that pretty silly, but actually this is a little artistic. So you cannot say this is grotesque, but this can say the grotesque makeup. Okay, grotesque pictures, a little scary. You're looking at them. You cannot say what the picture is all about, but it's grotesque. A little bit spooky, scary, or a little bit frightening. Then you can say this. Grotesque pictures, grotesque makeups, grotesque outfits, and grotesque patterns. Bizarre. I think this is a Hungson Daewongun's attitude after somebody really somebody that he doesn't like become a king, and he had maintained a bizarre attitude, like crawling on the like an insane person. Try intentionally make that kind of behavior in order to be in order to save his life. Okay, bizarre. There are a lot of bizarre news, bizarre stories in a newspaper. You see, you hear every day bizarre news, bizarre stories from the newspaper, from the media, mass media. Hard to understand, very unconventional. Bizarre situation, bizarre element, bizarre custom, bizarre description. The prince created bizarre behaviors in order not to be butchered by his brother who took his father's throne. So after his brother, who maybe didn't like him, took office, and then in order to save his life, bizarre behavior that he created, like screaming while walking and things like that. Hard to understand. Why is he doing that? You don't know, but because a couple of days ago he was normal person, but he started acting crazy, and you can say bizarre. Hard to understand why he's doing that. You can say bizarre stories. Usually hard to understand. The last word is eccentric. Eccentric means strange, but this is like in a positive way, in an amusing way. Eccentric way of doing certain things. And you like that. It's kind of amusing, If that is unpleasant, if somebody does something which is unpleasant, they say unpleasant and say peculiar makeup, peculiar way of harassing people, peculiar way of driving me crazy, and there's a peculiar, certain way that you don't like, and there's this unpleasant, you can say peculiar. But if it is amusing, you can say eccentric behavior, eccentric way, eccentric lifestyle. The man dwelling in the cave has an eccentric way of brushing his teeth. Maybe he brushing his teeth like this way or that way, kind of funny way. You like that pretty. You have found that very amusing, and you can say eccentric way. But if you do not know why he's doing that, it's hard to understand. You can say what? Bizarre. It's bizarre. So eccentric way is pretty amusing. Peculiar is unpleasant. Bizarre is hard to understand. That's it for today. See you next time. Bye-bye.